welcome to the latest in our video series, Place Name Foods. Today it's just a short drive for me from where I live in North Yorkshire over into West Yorkshire to the town of Pontefract. Today we're going to be looking at Pontefract cakes. Actually got a glorious day today, the sun out. They tried to do this video the other day there and it started to rain, so I gave up on it. But quite apart from not knowing where I'm going and already having driven through the town once, I've turned back myself and coming back into Pontefract for the second time, and hopefully with a bit more success we can find the centre of town. I never did find any signs to the city centre or to car parks near the city centre, but after a while of following around Lady Penelope and the pink key in front, I had seen in a way in some signs to the castle car park, so I took a left turn off the road and went up the hill, another left and into the castle car park. So as I leave the car park and walk up Castle Garth to the castle entrance, let's consider the Pontefract cake. A bit of a misnomer because it's not a cake at all, but a round liquorice sweet. It's said that there are two types of people in the world, those that love liquorice and those that hate it. But for those that love it, the Pontefract cake is an absolute favourite. But why is Pontefract associated with liquorice production? The answer is that nobody really knows why Pontefract became such an important area of liquorice production, because the plant, which is a herb, is a native of North Africa, Western Asia and Southern Europe. It may be brought back by Crusaders in the 11th century, left behind by the Romans, or brought by Dominican monks who settled at the Pontefract Priory in the 14th century. But whoever was responsible, there are records that clearly show large-scale licorice production in the 16th century. However, it wasn't until the 18th century before things really took off. Extract of the licorice root was being used as a medicine for humans and horses until an apothecary, George Dunhill, had had a great idea to add sugar to the mix and produce a chewable lozenge, which he then embossed with a logo, in this case of the castle. Many businesses copied George Dunhill's formula, and at its peak there were 10 factories producing Pontefract cakes around the town. George Dunhill was successful as a producer of a wide range of sweets, something that continued well after his death, and his confectionery company Dunhill's continued to prosper. However, in 1994, Dunhill's was taken over by German giant Haribo, and production of the Pontefract cake moved to the huge new factory in Castleford. Licorice was grown within the castle grounds, as it shared the same ideal soil for the root production as the rest of the surrounding area of Pontefract. Licorice is still grown in the grounds of Pontefract Castle in this herb garden, and because it was early in the season there was not much growth and it took a little bit of finding, but eventually managed to find the actual plant itself. And although it wasn't that much to look at, you've got to remember it's actually the root which is the important part. Have a look at the root in a sec. From the castle it's a fairly short walk up into the town of Pontefract. And walking around the centre of town, there are still some influences of the licorice heritage that can be seen. I mentioned Haribo earlier for the fact that they took over Dunhill, who were producers of Pontefract cakes, and they continue to produce them but in a factory at Castleford. However, just outside the centre of town we've got a factory shop and we had to go pay a visit to that, and obviously bought some Pontefract cakes.
about this and she hasn't done a big weekend yet. I missed the good night last time, and I've learned now that the Saturday night is the good night out. So we were all in like the hotel bar, like 1:30. Having some civilised drinks, literally every radio loved us, and I thought, this is wrapping up, I'm going to go to bed. Next day, oh, it was the best night ever. And the man was DJing from a mobile phone. We all
There is only one other manufacturer of Pontefract cakes, and that's Taverners, produced by another food giant, Tangerine. These ones actually are produced in Pontefract and taste quite different to the Haribo ones. Finally, I'd heard there was a small liquorice exhibition in the museum, but although I looked, I couldn't find the museum, so I asked for some help. Hello. Can you tell me whereabouts is the museum?
It's that building there.
Is it?
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't going to be far away. I didn't think
Out the
it
door,
was.
just follow it straight round and you'll get to it.
Thank you.
Alright.